Hello, lovely Leo, and welcome back to the channel. And this is going to be a monthly Taroscope for Leo. So let's see what's coming up for Leo. I'm going to do some Celtic cross spreads this month. I'm just feeling that. Oh, two major arcana. And it's interesting. It's the High Priestess and the High Priest, both in reverse. Interesting stuff. Yeah, spiritual investigations here. Very interesting. I'm going to keep laying out cards and we'll take a look at more of what's going on here. Ten of Swords reversed in the past. This is what's passing away. It's also a completing of a cycle. At the root is Ten of Wands. Notice the two tens. Again, completing of a cycle. Transformation. Your opportunity or crown. Recovery, healing. Six of Swords. This means going to calmer and smoother shores. Talk more about that in a moment. Where you're headed, or what's approaching, is Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is a slowing down, but there's resistance to slowing down. Some of you may want this to be over already, but you need to kind of surrender to the process of it. So let's see what else is coming up. You in the situation, Leo? Yeah, confidence. Knight of Wands. Yeah, that's you. That's the fire sign. You know, it's interesting. I'm seeing you going from Ten of Wands to Knight of Wands. So I'll talk a little bit about that too. Your environment, Three of Cups in reverse. And then, actually I'm going to leave that here. Your hopes and fears are the Moon. Okay. And then outcome, possible outcome is Nine of Wands. Bottom of the deck is Five of Cups. So let's talk about this. What's going on, Leo? Central here, the focus on this reading is that you are going to be doing some deep digging here in terms of your psyche, in terms of your consciousness. What we have at the center of it is High Priestess in reverse. And High Priestess means tapping into your intuition. Looking at what's below the surface. Again, this totally makes sense with the eclipses. It means letting the subconscious and the unconscious take precedence over the conscious mind. So it means kind of putting your mind aside and trusting your feelings, your gut feelings, your innermost, what's going on with you on like a deep gut level, a knowing level, what's below the surface. It's letting it up to be examined. And she knows the answer. She's got the scroll of knowledge on her lap. And with this in reverse, it's saying to me that you may not be trusting your gut. You may not be trusting your intuition. You may not be trusting the process, Leo, of this transformation that's going on for you in your identity and yourself. I'm going to say, you know at some level that this is happening, but you may have some kind of fear, doubt, or resistance to surrendering and allowing this to happen. So High Priestess is about knowing on a gut level. It's about trusting yourself. It's about getting quiet and reflecting and going within. So some of you may be wanting to see results in the external world. And really what this is saying is that you need to go within. This needs to be like a spiritual journey, not necessarily an external one, but an internal one. And then with High Priest, also known as the Pope, also known as Hierophant, crossing it, what it's telling me is that there may be some spiritual lesson that you're needing to learn. This is in the challenges position, or what's crossing it. This is what you need to address to move forward. And High Priest is about spiritual lessons, going up to the next level. You can even see his hand pointing up here. There may be some of you that are afraid to ascend to the next level, afraid to go to the next chapter, or that there's some sort of way where conventionality, traditionalism, maybe religion, or however spirituality is showing up for you is a challenge right now. With High Priestess in reverse and High Priest challenging it, there may be some spiritual crisis is what the word that's coming up for me that's going on for you. I think especially with all this retrograde motion and you know, the Mercury retrograde in your sign and this new moon solar partial eclipse, it might be like a new birth. it might be like a new you is coming about and you're not wanting to change. It might be like you want to put the brakes on it. You may be comfortable carrying all this weight. This is 10 of Wands. This is the basis of what's going on. And this means being tired. It means feeling oppressed, feeling heavy. Like, I've been carrying these for so long. Sometimes when I see this card, it reminds me of a question that says, you know, how heavy is a glass of water? And the answer is, well, how long have you been carrying it? So it also reminds me of a Muhammad Ali quote that says, it's not the mountain that gets you, it's the rock in your shoe, or the pebble in your shoe. So this is all about being like kind of at the end of your rope with all that you've been carrying, and it feels like you've been carrying it for a long time, but it's a 10. So you've come to this completion of carrying this cycle. Also, we know with this passing away, it's an old way of thinking. Another 10 of Swords, that these are like dropping out of this person's back. This old way of thinking is getting cast off. And what's available to you is recovery and healing. This is your opportunity if you should so choose it. Basically, if you are strong and courageous enough to go through this sort of spiritual revelation, for lack of a better word, you know, tap into your inner self and have that show up as who you are in the world, you know, and I do see you having this confidence with you being Knight of Wands, your normal fiery self, then you unlock the opportunity to do a lot of healing, to do a lot of recovering, and you go from this turbulent area, old waters is what I'm seeing, water under the bridge, to calmer shores, calmer horizons, you know, places where it's more serene, where there's more peace. So I see you going from water under the bridge to a place of peace if you can address and face and allow the spiritual reckoning or revelation that's going on for you, Leo. You're really transforming here with all this eclipse stuff. And it might be that there's shadow aspects of you that are coming up that you're resistant against. She's the goddess of the underworld. This is the equivalent of Persephone with the pomegranate seeds. If some of you know that Greek myth or are familiar with it, Persephone goes down into the underworld, and that's where she gets all this knowledge from. So I'm going to say letting your shadow self or shadow aspects come to the surface for release is what is necessary during this time. And it might be that some of you are afraid to go deep or down under or into that. Look at what that shadow aspect is that you need to release, and it's going to take you to the next level. It's like making friends with your shadow self is what I'm seeing. And it brings you this spiritual aha moment. And also will bring you a lot of healing as you release that, you know, look at the difference between these two cards. As you release that which burdens you and drains you of life, you know, makes you feel like there's a dark night of the soul, you leave some of that behind and you go into this place of recovery, of healing, of journeying to a softer, sweeter, more serene, peaceful horizon. So that's the theme of what I'm getting, Leo. It's really actually quite beautiful. I see you going from sort of being tired of being tired, to this epiphany, you know, letting things from the shadow come up, making friends with it, and then doing a lot of healing. And what is approaching for you is, it's sort of like needing to slow down, but you're not really wanting to slow down. That's another thing that I'm getting. This is Knight of Coins, which could potentially be an earth sign. So this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but they're at a standstill. And he's very practical. He's very, he takes time to evaluate things. He's sort of a very bottom line personality. Like, is this going to benefit me or is this not going to benefit me? Where do I want to invest my energy? Where do I want to go? I'm just going to take a minute and think things over. So with this in the reverse, there may be a resistance on your part coming up where you may need to take time to just think things over. And you may need to just come to a standstill, but there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance about just taking the time, taking the time that you need to take to let this thing happen. to, go with the pulling back of all this retrograde motion. It's really a good time to review, relax, rejuvenate, revise, replenish, recharge. And it's saying that you want to go ahead. You want to let this stuff go. But you're just going to have to slow down a little bit. And for you Leos, it's hard because you're rip-roaring to go most of the time. You guys are like, let's see some action. Let's make some things happen. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And that's what the strength of this card is, which is you in this situation. This is Knight of Wands, which is courageous and bold and daring. But the low side of Knight of Wands is that he rushes forward without thinking. He rushes forward without considering things. He leaps before he looks. That's where you can really learn from this Knight of Coins. This is much slower energy. So while this is you, Leo, and do take the high side of all these qualities, which is your courageousness. Leos are known for courage, known for being bold, known for being daring, known for being, the one who will go where no one else goes and who is fearless. But you can learn something also from the Knight of Coins, who is all about slowing down and evaluating. This one definitely thinks and looks before he leaps. This one does not. So this is what you have the opportunity to integrate. This is the energy coming in for you, where you can take that moment to evaluate and then move forward. And I really like that you're going from this place of feeling like you need to do all the work, feeling like you're carrying too much, that it's feeling heavy and oppressive, to this place of okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this thing. I'm ready to charge forward because I have taken time to slow down. I have released these old ways of thinking. I have taken time to recover and heal and think about what's practical and good. I've slowed down to really think it through, and now I'm ready to move forward. So this is you in the situation. And I really like that you have ditched all the unnecessary wands, all the unnecessary projects, and, all the things that you're giving your attention to that were unnecessary, and chosen one. And you're going to run with it and saying, this is the new me. This is what I'm passionate about. This is where I want to focus my energy. This is what motivates me. So even though there may be an environment of naysayers, that sometimes Three of Cups in reverse can be gossip and, worrying about what other people are saying or thinking. Three of Cups can mean feeling like you're not supported, or feeling like other people are against you or they don't have your back. This guy says, who cares? I'm doing it. I'm going forward. I'm charging through with what I want to do, and I don't care what anyone else has to say about it. It's sort of like saying, don't listen to the peanut gallery. If the peanut gallery, everyone surrounding you is not being supportive, don't worry about them, Leo. Don't give it a second thought. You do have hopes and fears here about not being able to recognize the truth and not being able to see your path forward because you don't know what's permanent or what is illusory. The moon is about secrets and change, and this could be related to not being able to see everything that's going on. It's a night sky. And with Three of Cups in reverse, sometimes that could be worrying about gossip. Don't worry about that. You're in a place where you're going to calmer waters, and you will survive anything, Leo. This is the Cool Hand Luke card. This is the guy who keeps getting knocked down and keeps getting back up. And every time I see this card, I think of a Samuel Beckett quote that says, ever tried, ever failed, never mind, try again, fail better. I really like both of these for you, Leo, because it's sort of like you see his armor, and he's it doesn't matter what comes at him. He's going to get through it. He's going to be the last one standing. This is him going in, and this is him afterwards. And he's sort of saying, I'm ready to go into battle, and I know I'm going to be the last one standing. So try me. So that's kind of the catchphrase that I see for you, Leo, for August is try me. Because you guys are well equipped to handle whatever comes at you, regardless of anyone else's opinions, thoughts, words about it, gossip, any of that. And regardless of whether you can see your way forward, or where this thing is going to end up, you're the survivor. And you're transforming in a big way here. So this is all about you, Leo. This is all about you being the one standing at the end, having the courage to go forward, not feeling drained anymore, because you're completing, both of these are 10s. You know, not having to carry more than your fair share, not having to do more than you need to do, and not carrying old thoughts, beliefs, ideas, or thinking patterns that drain you. You're letting go of this, and you are in a wonderful place of opportunity, of healing, of growth, of recovery, going from, say, charged waters or chaos to a place of new horizons, or even just different waters. It may be that you're just going from an old set of water, you know, water under the bridge, to new horizons. I'm really liking it because you're taking the time to think about, to slow down and think about what your next steps are going to be, and then implementing it with action. And of course, regardless of what's going on here, hopes and fears or people surrounding you, it doesn't matter. You're coming out the strong one too. And that doesn't surprise me a bit, Leo, especially in Leo season. So I'm excited for you. Even if there's old hurts that you may be still, that may be heavy on your heart, Leo, look at what's coming up. Fool energy, brand new, smelling the rose, you know, new adventure, a new you. It's just the very beginning of the tarot, you know, beginner's mind, new journey. So super excited for you, Leo. So that's my reading for you, Leo. And as always, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my long-term subscribers. I love all of my stars, and I just want to thank all of you for watching so much.